Well, good afternoon, everybody. Just thought I'd come on to explain something to you guys. This is a question actually that comes up a lot. So I just want to spend 5 minutes talking about it. And that is, how much money will I make? Okay. So 9 times out of 10, when it comes to a new prospect or someone I'm talking with about starting a coffee business, they want to know, how much will I make? And it's a fair question. So I thought I'd come on, I'll put it on the record and explain to you guys exactly what the rule of thumb is today. So first of all, you need to understand there's two types of investors, okay? You've got people who are like, they want to park their money somewhere. Say they've got 200 grand and they go, okay, well, the bank's returns are quite dismal, so 1 or 2% is just not going to cut it. So forget that, all right? So why not buy a cafe, a coffee shop? I can park my money there and get a return. So that's the first scenario. So for that type of person, I say you need to definitely be, you need to buy an existing business, all right? Because it's the only way you're going to get certainty around what kind of return you're going to get with your money. So the rule of thumb is this is something not many people know. I'm going to let all you guys know. You're going to be in on exactly how much you can make in the coffee game. So the rule of thumb, if you're doing it properly, is this. If you have $100,000 and you invest it in the coffee game, all right, you'll get a business returning half of that per annum, all right? So if a business is doing $100,000 net profit, you would pay $200,000 for that business. So it's net profit times 2. Now that's the rule of thumb. Most times businesses out there are trying to sell their businesses for a lot higher than they should, okay? And we can see the holes in the financials. So you've got to be very careful you're not being lied to by the broker and by the seller of the business, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be putting false information in front of you. And that's why we were able to negotiate the price of David's business down some nearly $300,000 by knowing where the pitfalls are, where the holes are, okay? So that is one way people get into business. They start a brand new, they start and buy into an existing business. The other way is people will basically start from scratch, all right? What we call a greenfield location. So greenfield location is where there's nothing there and we have to go in and build a business from the ground up. Now, in this scenario, there is just no way of knowing exactly how much you're going to make, okay, because you're taking on a brand new location. We can get pretty close to estimating based on building numbers and other factors, foot traffic, that sort of thing. But the only way you're going to know exactly how much you're making or close to, or as close as you can comfortably know to how much you're going to make, is by buying an existing business and using that formula that I told you about, and that is net profit times 2, which isn't a bad ratio really. So you're talking getting your investment back in 2 years' time. Now, the other thing I'd say is, if you're looking at starting a business from scratch, even though it is a little bit more risk, we've been able to really bring that risk to a safer and a more acceptable level through really knowing the industry well, inside and out, by adopting things like the 5-day cafe model, where we know exactly what the building numbers are. We go for very fair and affordable rental terms. We know the customer audience, and really controlling all those parts of the business. And so, yeah, two types of businesses, guys, is starting from scratch on the greenfield location and buying into an existing business where you will, have a little bit more certainty in what your actual return will be. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat box there and I'll do my best to get to them. One more thing I'd probably say about the 5-day cafe model is that although there is a little bit more risk, there's also there's more reward as well. With a little risk comes more reward, and so you can actually leverage things like the cash incentive from the landlord. You can leverage things like a rent-free period, a free fit out, all these things, and you can start quite inexpensively. You're going to need at least 50k. I mean, without 50k, you're nowhere. But you can actually leverage things like those incentives to propel you into a great location, and then all you've got to do is get profitable, and you've got an saleable asset that you could potentially sell for many times more than you've just invested in the startup. So there you go. How much will I make? That is just the most common question. That and what will it cost me? And I think I've answered that pretty well today, but let me know if you have any questions. How much it will cost you is depending, again, on which business model you choose. Is it buying an existing business or is it starting from scratch? Okay. If it's buying an existing business, then you're going to pay 2 times net profit. All right, all going to plan. If no one's actually exploiting and gouging you, that's what you should be paying. So you've got to be very careful that you are paying no more than you should be. If, on the other hand, you're starting a business in a greenfields location, a brand new business, then I would say, look, you need at least 50 to 100k, and that'll give you some good working capital, if nothing else, because you can actually take advantage of some incentives that are quite often available. In fact, we're doing a deal today, working on a location for a guy, and they're offering a free fit out, a 15% incentive, which amounts to about $90,000, and the rent is quite attractive, and that's in a 5-day type location as well. So that guy will get in for well under probably 100, probably closer to 50k of his own money, and all he's got to do is get profitable. He could potentially be selling that business for whatever in a year or two's time. So look, yeah, if you're clever about how you start in this game, you can make real money. You can make money as you go. You can earn a good living. You can also build a saleable asset as well, which is where the real money is, I suppose. I mean, I know people that have built businesses up and sold them, and only to repeat again. In fact, I've got a couple of clients that are experienced operators that do that, and one guy actually made $300,000 profit on his business last time he did it. All you've got to do is get it profitable and making good money, and you're home. I started I built a chain of coffee outlets, and once I got to about 8 sites nationally, I had the big end of town come knocking and, you know, making offers. So you just need to actually get them profitable, and you've got real options, whether that's expanding or selling, or you can do what you want. But yeah, I hope that's answered that question today once and for all. You know, so short of having a crystal ball, which I don't have, the only way you're going to get that certainty that you need is by buying an existing business. And the rule of thumb is 2 times net profit. Okay? That's what you'll pay for the business. Awesome. Okay, guys, well, no questions. I can see there's a few people on here. Yeah, I'm going to actually knock off, I think. It's getting late. All right, guys, hope that helped. Bye for now.